Hello and welcome to the Jackcast, your Swansea City podcast. I'm your host, Steve Carroll, and joining me this week is Andy Godden. Afternoon, Andy.
Afternoon, Steve. Afternoon, all.
Right, so we didn't do one last week, so apologies. So a little bit of catching up to do. I'm sure you don't want us to discuss Ipswich too much, so we won't go into it in huge amount of detail. It was not a classic, but obviously we do have the games with Stoke and Portsmouth to cover as well. It's Wednesday afternoon, so obviously those that travelled last night are probably still in jubilant spirits, and I'm sure, like the rest of us, very happy with how it played out. And of course, we have the big one to look at on Friday as we travel to Wrexham for the first time in the league since 2002, I think it is. So yeah, it's been a long time. But Andy, let's get Ipswich out of the way first. It was not a classic for us, was it? I mean, it panned out probably as expected. I mean, one of our toughest games left against a team on parachute payments that have been relegated last season. Obviously, are pushing towards the top. Will probably be a little bit disappointed in terms of the fact they're probably not higher in the division. But I mean, we conceded after a matter of minutes, didn't we? And it just got worse. It was yeah. I can't really think of too many positives from that one, to be honest.
Well, it's over, so that's the main thing, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I mean, if I think about the home games down here, I think Ipswich for me were probably one of the best teams I've seen down here this season. That I think they give us a bit of a shoe in down here, didn't they? But yeah, I mean, I mean, we've been playing quite well at home lately. Not so much away from home, but so I think we had a bit of confidence from that, after the 4 points at home. But yeah, I mean, I think we always thought we'd be up against Ipswich, and it was certainly the case, wasn't it? And it didn't really help the way the game started either, did it? For them to score, so I thought it was an excellent goal after 3 minutes, rather set the tone. And I don't think we really came back from that, did we?
No, we certainly didn't. And I mean, it was always going to be the type of game where we were going to find it difficult, I think, and it was important to try and keep things tight early on and stay in the game. And obviously, when you concede after 3 minutes, you just it's an uphill struggle straight away, isn't it? And the second goal came just before the break, and then there was a third. I mean, to be fair to Vigouroux, I think at 3-0, he's made a brilliant save as well. So it could
Yeah.
have got worse, really, couldn't it? But I mean, you look at it. We had a few shots in the game, but we just didn't really hurt them, did we? And it just felt like probably one of the most comfortable afternoons from I remember. There was a lot of we were pressing, but they seemed to then be getting in behind us, and it just looked like two teams that there was a gulf in class, wasn't there? I think that's fair to say.
Oh, I think so, absolutely. And I think, as you mentioned, parachute payments, if you look at the squads, they probably have one of the best squads in the division. And it showed on that day. I think they were pretty much in cruise control after the second, weren't they? And they just kind of managed us from that point. If they needed goals, they probably could have gone out and got them. Who knows? But no, we didn't really lay a glove on that one. But the good news is, we don't play the likes of Ipswich very often this season, and we've shown in other games around that we've been pretty competitive. So yeah, I think for us to move on beyond from where we are, those are the sort of games we're going to have to be a lot more competitive in, because we've just not really managed to do that, have we, against the better teams in this division. But hopefully we can learn the lessons from that as we play the better teams, certainly in the next 4 games, or 5 really, or 6 actually, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully we can learn the lessons from that and take them to the
Yeah,
next game.
it's been a problem, hasn't it, over the last few seasons, really, where the
Yeah.
better teams tend to put us to the sword. And yeah, it was the same again on that day. And I sympathise really with everybody that travelled, because it's a long way to go, and wasn't a lot to shout about. From what I was told, there was on the way home there was an accident, and a lot of people got stuck with that as well. Then so just yeah, I mean, you think back to everyone's had bad days on the road, and I guess that's probably one of the worst of the season for those that travelled. But it is what it is. This is the joys of following Swansea City, and at times it makes the ones that go well that bit more satisfying, because it doesn't happen all the time. But after that, we it was a quiet week really. Then, which probably was the opposite to the week before when obviously we had the circus of Snoop Dogg in town. But yeah, Stoke City visited us on Saturday. Not one of our favourite opponents down the years, it's fair to say. Although our home record against them isn't too bad. It's mainly away where we've really struggled. I mean, looking at the first half, Andy, it wasn't a classic again, was it? Really? I thought we started okay. There was a good move early on with Galbraith coming on the end of it. I mean, I was pleased to see him back in midfield. I must say that was good, and Josh Key coming in, who we'll talk about in a bit. But after that, really, Stoke had a couple of chances, wasn't there? There was one brilliant save from Vigouroux. Obviously, they've had a goal disallowed, and then they've had a red card, and it was a different game after that, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, as you say, that first 5 minutes, and this has happened a few times for us. We started really well. There was a lovely bit of one-touch passing, put Galbraith in. I think he should have done better with that. He'll be disappointed himself with his quality. Um, but after that, I mean, it was pretty much all Stoke. And funny enough, when you mentioned sending off, I thought Sober Thomas was excellent for the first 20 odd minutes. If we ignore sort of a challenge and what would have ultimately happened with the red card. But yeah, I think we were lucky to be in it prior to the red card. As you say, there was one which they really should have done better with, rather than allowing it to be blocked. The goal disallowed, which I think was the right call by the referee. Fair play. Because I mean, I didn't see it in real time, but you could see it on the replay. There was one of the Stoke players was basically interfering with Vigouroux. So that's always going to get given as offside these days. And of course that brilliant save. But I think we were definitely second best at that point until Sorba Thomas decided to implode. Really, I mean, I think the red card itself for what it was very harsh. I mean, we've talked about Franco in the past, and he goes down at the slightest touch, holding his head. I mean, it's cost us in the past at West Brom, conceding a goal because of it. This one, it bought a red card, so I wouldn't. I don't like it when he does it. I want to stop, but that was the benefit of it, wasn't it? But I think what you could argue is that the earlier challenge where he got a yellow from, that probably should have been a red. And I thought he's playing really well until that point, but I think we're kind of lucky he just sort of just exploded, didn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, I can't say I sympathise with Stoke because there's been too many
No.
decisions down the years where
Oh
they've
yeah.
gone for them against us, and it's left me raging. So if they're annoyed, then I'll be honest, I'm quite happy about that because I think that we're still owed a few against them.
Oh,
It's the same
Victor
thing.
Moses. Yeah, never forget
Yeah,
him.
I mean, there's that the handball on the line was the real killer one. After we were two
Oh
down
yeah.
to 3-2 up, and then Routledge allegedly handles it on the line, and Mark Hughes says he can see why the referee gave it. And it was just like, come on, lads. Joe Allen scoring offside for them. Do you remember that?
Oh God, yeah. I forgot about that
Yeah.
because
So
yeah, that
see,
was
there's so many of them, and those ones as well are ones that are really like they've killed us, if
yeah,
you know what I mean. And
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
so
do want to give the impression I was ever sympathetic towards Stoke, but no, it was no. I mean, I just think I don't like Franco's play acting. It's benefited us this one, as you say. There's plenty of previous with Stoke doing the same to us, granted, and maybe I shouldn't be so precious about it. But I think there's been times it's negatively affected us. But yeah, Saturday certainly wasn't one of those times.
yeah, look, I'm
I think
with you.
after that,
It's not always the type of thing I want to see either, but look, if it's, I think it's a little bit like, I want to see nice football and all stuff like this, but if we're playing Cardiff, you just need to
yeah,
win. And
oh
it's,
yeah,
yeah, so like you sometimes just take the view of, well, it's against Stoke, and they've come out of it badly, and you just go, yeah, do you know what? We're
yeah,
not going to lose any
make
sleep over that one.
make an
So,
exception. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But come on, I didn't think we were brilliant even after the red card. Mind, we've scored a decent goal. To be fair, we've scored a few similar types of goals like that now from corners, and we were, Vipotnik scored a similar one himself against Blackburn. I think there was the ones against Watford away and Hull away as well, wasn't it? So we are improving on set pieces, which is a good thing. And obviously Vipotnik has got his total up again, which is a positive. But I mean, it was a good job we scored from that because we weren't offering a huge amount else, in spite of the added advantage really of 11 men. And it can be like that sometimes, can't it? You can, a team goes down to 10, and it's, it doesn't become the walk in the park that you hope it is. And we struggled really to kill it off, didn't we?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think what the red card really did was kill their momentum. I think after that they didn't really threaten us so much, and then after that we started to get more of a grip on the game. Yeah, as you say, first half kind of just petered out a little bit, didn't it? And the second half wasn't going particularly well. I mean, I took my daughter to her first game at the stadium for about 7 or 8 years, and I couldn't have picked a worse one at that point, I thought. But it was, yeah, I mean, obviously, we scored from a corner, which, we've been saying that a lot lately, which wasn't the case for a long time. And I'm just amazed teams aren't realizing that Robotnik's running to the front post a lot and winning headers at the front post. Maybe they should do something about it because, as you say, it's about third or fourth time that's done it, which led directly to a goal. I think even the one at Watford, I mean, his header was going in, wasn't it? Until I think Fulton, was it Stamenic got on the end of it.
Yeah.
So there are, it's become a real tactic for us, which is fair play to Matos because that certainly wasn't the case before he arrived. So and I think after that goal, they never really troubled us. I mean, they had a couple of half chances. I think we handed one to them after we butchered a 3-on-1, which I've seen online Cullen get a lot of pelters for, which I think part of few of them are quite well deserved. But I was just screaming at Nunes because his run was brain dead, running into the middle, and Franco kind of ran across him as well. It was just all three of them. It was an absolute shambles. But I think it was a very, very comfortable second half after that goal. Of what was a pretty nondescript game until in the 90th, 91st minute, wherever it was, Liam Cullen decided to add to our goal of the season collection.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? It was, there's been a lot of worldies this season. I mean, I think we could probably list a load of them now, but yeah, I mean, this one, I just remember from where I am in the northeast corner, seeing him hit it, and straight away my instinct is, "Cool, this is looking good here." The goalkeeper's out a bit, obviously, and it just then loops, and he couldn't really have hit it any better, could he? Like, fair play to him. He's, as you say, he did frustrate me with that run, and he's given the ball away cheaply then when we had a great chance to kill the game. But then,
Yeah.
a moment of brilliance, really, and that is the thing with Cullen. He's always likely to pop up with a goal. I think he might not always have a huge influence in terms of the overall play, but you do fancy him in that type of situation to, or generally just coming off the bench the last 20, that he may get you a goal. And obviously he did the same against Preston, didn't he? Very different type of goal that was, although it was a brilliant header. But this was just brilliant, wasn't it? And as I say, I don't think he could have hit it any better, could he? And as you say, you took your daughter for the first time in a while. And I would say it wasn't
Yeah.
a memorable match, but there was a memorable moment that will stick out from it, wasn't there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was proper sand wedge, wasn't it? So I had a great view of the height of it, not so much of the aim, but you could see the moment he hit it. If it was on target, it was in. Keeper was not going to get anywhere near it. It was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful shot. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, there's so many games this season. We've just scored some spectacular goals, which probably, I think probably does come back to the lack of chances we create. We've almost had to score some absolute worldies just to get through some games. But yeah, I mean, on the Cullen, I don't think it's been his best. It's certainly not been his best season. It's been disappointing for long stretches of it. But he's our second top scorer. Even though he hasn't had as much game time as some others have, maybe more than he should have at times. But and he will get you goals. And I think you need players like that, even if the formations we're playing with don't really suit him. I think he's really a second striker, isn't he? And we don't want to play with somebody that close to the Botnik. So in that case, why we've got the top scorer in the division, he's never going to start up front. Then I think his only real role for us at the moment is coming off the bench. And fair play to him. He's scored two in the last 3 games, and I think maybe that's I think what it does prove is that there's a place for him in the squad. And at the end of the day, it's a squad game, isn't it? It's not just it's not just your first 11. It's your first 18. It's your first 20. So I think for me, given he's our second top scorer, I think there's certainly a place for him in the squad. Um, and and a fair play to him after coming back from what's been a pretty iffy few months, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. And I mean, you just sometimes you just got to play to someone's strengths, and like playing him away to Ipswich, one of the hardest games of the season, up front on his own, and inevitably he was going to struggle, wouldn't he? You're not
Yeah.
really, you're not picking a game that suits him as such. And, but whereas coming off the bench against Preston, maybe against Stoke as well, you'd have to say that is, that really is him, as you say. He is a squad player. Or,
Yeah.
I can understand why he started against Sheffield Wednesday the other week, because it's a game where we're expecting to have a lot more of the ball. We're probably going to create more chances, and that then lends itself to him. But, generally up front on his own doesn't suit him so much. So, but it was a great moment to remember the game by, I think, and it put a bit of gloss on the performance. And of course, it was the first Saturday 3 o'clock at home this year, which is, it's been a while, so it was just
Wow.
nice to end that in that way. Then, and for me, it was important because we're going into two away games then, where our away record is poor, and I was thinking, well, at least we got this win now. So I'm not sure how this week was going to go, but I am delighted to say that I was quite wrong about that. Because last night we travelled to Portsmouth with our away record, as I say, it was more in hope than expectation, I think. But there really were plenty of positives, weren't there? I mean, we had a couple of chances early on with Potnick, and we opened the score, and then through what was a brilliant move, really, and it was started by our goalkeeper, wasn't it, with a long pass upfield that was just perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we started again. First 5 minutes did really well. Game went into a bit of a lull at that point, even though we were dominant. But I mean, it was just a lovely first goal, wasn't it? And I think one of the good things was, and I noticed in the first half, it was almost as if Galbraith and Timon was switching positions quite a bit, because and that's how the goal kind of happened. Timon had kind of gone into a more advanced midfield position, and Galbraith had dropped back a bit to left back. And it was the ball from Orm into Timon, who had the first shot as blocked. But I mean, it just showed Galbraith's quality, didn't it? He's just calmly slotted it from 20 odd yards, bit of curl into the side netting. And given criticised our midfield this season for not really scoring goals, that was just an absolute belter. And I think it just shows the negative side of playing him a right back this season. I think I can understand why they did it with struggles, but we lost an awful lot with him going there, because I don't think it suited him. Defensively, I don't think he was the best from that side, but we also lost, and I think we forgot that we lost the attacking side of it as well. We lost the benefit of him being in the middle. But and you can see this, his quality with that goal was just shone through. And given we haven't really got many goals from midfield this season, I think it did highlight what we've missed. I think.
Oh, absolutely. He's the best midfield player, best player on the ball, really. And,
Yeah,
to have to play him at right back should really have been a last resort. I think it should have ended a
yeah,
good while ago, really. And I'm just glad that it has now. And, as you say, it was a great finish for the goal. It's given us a lead. And, it wasn't long after that we got a second. But the big positive really is not just that Galbraith's gone back into midfield, but that Josh Keith has regained some form. I thought he was excellent for us on Saturday. Obviously, he had that block, but he just did give us a lot going forward as well. And it was just really good to see a player that was his confidence was shot. Really, ironically, the last time that we played Stoke, so it was great that played a part in his redemption, I think. And of course, then he's managed to get the goal then to double our lead last night as well. So. That's a big plus for us going forward, isn't it? I mean, we've been talking about
yeah,
we need other people to chip in, so that's great. But also, it just it kills two birds with one stone. But you get a proper right back in the team in the right position, and then you can get your best midfield player back into his right position, and it
yeah.
just is it's two positives for us, isn't it?
It shouldn't have been the case, really, that if Josh Key needed pulling out the team, which he did, that our best midfielder had to go right back. That shows something went wrong there with squad planning for the season. So, but I can understand why you know Galbraith had moved there, because he got previous from his Orient days. I get that, but I think there were signs, I think, weeks ago, that it needed to be changed at that point. And no, I think what's great is that I think Key's confidence has come back. I think those couple of cameos he had when he played sort of a bit more advanced, I think, helped, because I think whatever else Key's got or lost, I think he still had that a decent quality in the attacking senses. Maybe that's just comparable to who is playing in front of him, who I know you're a big fan of. But I think
Well, you could
he's.
say he had the assist last night, although
Oh,
I
I'm not having that.
no,
That's
no,
not.
I said it sarcastically. I'm waiting for someone to mention it. But yes, I mean, look, I think in that state, yes, it will go down as one. But I think we've got to be realistic. It's not.
Well, I don't think it does. I think assists now there has to it has to have had a material effect on the goal, and all he did was ship it to him about 2 yards away. So I don't think it is, but and nor should it be, quite frankly. But no, look, I'm just so glad he's getting a bit of form. As you say, he played well on Saturday, he played well yesterday. It was a lovely goal, slight deflection, but it was definitely on target either way, and he was going to trouble the keeper regardless. And just another goal to add to the goal of the season competition, wasn't it? And I think a 2-0, and a thoroughly well deserved 2-0. I thought it was yeah, I mean, absolute cruise control, wasn't it? And it was just good to see, because it's been such a long time since our away form has been of that um, of that quality, and it was quite nice just relaxing to and enjoying an away game, really. Well, at least for 60 minutes. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think in the second half we carried that into it, didn't we? For at least for the first 15, we had some good chances.
Yeah, we certainly did. I mean, Eom should have hit the target. I know the flag went up,
Oh,
but I mean
yeah,
that no, that's such a good chance. And then Galbraith has another one as well. But it felt like last time. I'm not saying we had a lot of chances, but we had some good ones, which is a
yeah,
positive because we haven't really created a lot of good chances. But we should really have killed the game, shouldn't we? We should have been 3 up at that stage. So then
yeah.
when the opposition get one back, it is frustrating that we could have let them back in, and I think it's probably not a coincidence that the subs coincide with the downturn in form. I mean, as we said, Cullen coming on as to play up front on his own. I mean, it's always going to be challenging then when there's only one goal up, and the opposition are going to be forcing us back. And then Galbraith going off, we weren't as good without him, I didn't think. And it just shows, doesn't it, sometimes that the depth isn't really there. But we have maybe the makings of a good team for the first hour or so.
Oh, I mean, there's a drop in quality there, of course there is, but I still think Waddell and Cullen both came on at the same time, didn't they? But I think it's been unfair on them, to be honest with you. I don't think it really had much of an effect either. I think, as you say, and you see this a lot with games. You're 2 up, you should have been 3 or 4, and then the opposition suddenly get a goal, and then you're just backs against the wall and trying to defend. I think, plus we're a very fragile team, I think, as well. And I think the goal itself was so avoidable. I mean, I don't quite know how Burgess ended up so far over the right hand side, leaving the head the striker to head that. I think Vigouroux probably should have done better with it as well. It was just a bit of a messy goal, wasn't it? And I think after that, we looked fragile. And we resorted to just basically long hoofs, and they weren't even particularly well directed hoofs. They were, a lot of them just fly into towards the touchline. I mean, I say I've been critical of Cullen's form in other games, but I don't think you can really point to him yesterday. Considering I don't think the Botanics' general play was just up to much before that either. I just think as a team, we just really look really fragile, which probably does go have a lot to do with our away form, I think. But what I will say in positive is that even though we didn't look particularly good after they scored, they didn't have a ton of chances. They had 3 or 4 moments, but it wasn't like it was the Alamo. It wasn't as if Vigor had to make loads of worldies or anything like that. It was relatively well managed, I think. And there weren't many moments where I thought, oh, well, a goal was inevitable. It did look possible for sure. And there was definite drop in our performance after they scored. But, I think we should take the positives from it. And say, look, we held on relatively comfortably. We got the win. We kind of broke that run of away losses, and we can hopefully use that to propel forward. And remarkably, I think we were in the top 10 now, aren't we, after that game? Which is, I know that there's more championship games tonight, but it's just good for us to be sort of looking upwards rather than looking down. And remarkably, we're only a few points away from the playoffs again, which kind of takes us back to where we were a few weeks ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, like you say, we could easily drop at least a couple of places tonight, but it's just nice to be in the top half, like because this is the highest that we've been all season, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that's the refreshing thing for me. And as you say, we're looking up rather than down, and yeah, it does set up Friday night, I think, quite nicely. And I didn't expect us to win at Portsmouth. I've got to be honest about that. I would have definitely taken a draw before the game. So to come away with a win and with one where there's a lot of positives is great from my point of view. So let's look forward then to Friday night. It's going to be an exciting one. They've probably got a score to settle with us a bit, they'll think, would they? Because, in my view, they didn't really show a lot when they were down here. And, of course, the goalkeeper made a big mistake late on, which is the reason that we ended up winning the game. Although I would argue we were the better team. But since then, Wrexham have been on a really good run, really. I mean, they've been in the top six. Obviously, they've done well in the Cup. They ran Chelsea close the other day. But they did lose at home to Hull last night, so they'll be frustrated by that, and they'll want to get back on track, really. But yeah, but this is one that can excite, can't it? And I mean, it's great for those that are going. There's 1,300 of us. I'm one of them. I'll be at the race course on Friday, but I guess it's great for everybody else. Friday night away game. I think the pubs will do a roaring trade, and yeah, just you're hoping that we can show something really. It would be nice to win, wouldn't it? Close up on those playoff places and reel them in at the same time, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be brilliant. I mean, as you say, the game down here just before Christmas, they didn't turn up. It was a, I know we only scored because of their goalkeeping error in the 90th minute, but we were by far the better team in that game. We were well up for it. The crowd as well up for it, and they were very flat, and they just didn't really have an answer to it. So, no, I think we were definitely well deserved victors on that night. Hopefully, we can take confidence from remembering that game and realize we can more than match them. So why can't we go up there and get a win? Absolutely. It's going to be a tough game. If you look at the next six games, Wrexham, Coventry, Sheffield United, Middlesbrough, Leicester, Southampton, it's kind of the who's who of the best teams in this league, isn't it? Ultimately, and it's going to be a really tough run starting on that game. But yeah, as you say, they've lost two in the bounce now. I thought what I saw of their FA Cup game, they look quite strong at times, very up for it. There's a bit of a circus around Friday because Reynolds and the other one are over doing commentary. So there's going to be a lot of focus on this one, and yeah, it wouldn't it be wonderful we could spoil that party because I think a lot of people are just assuming they're going to get in the playoffs and assuming they're going to get promoted, and if we can dent that and get within 2 points to them, um, I think firstly nobody would have seen that coming a few weeks ago, and it may help change the narrative around sort of local media especially. I mean, if you just watch the news, I mean, a lot of the talk about Wrexham getting promoted, we're not really part of that conversation. If we can become part of that, it could get very interesting, couldn't it? I mean, I think given our run of fixtures, it's still a bit of a long shot, I think. But no, let's go into Friday with a bit of confidence. If we can do the double over them, that'd be spectacular. I won't be there on Friday. I'll be in a pub in Upland somewhere. But it's no, give them a shout from us and bring back the 3 points.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Or even if we just get, a draw there, that wouldn't be a terrible result. I mean, we'd have had 4 points off them. Still, it'd be an improvement to have 4 points from two away games, from my point of view. But I mean, how would you set us up? I mean, I think it's fairly obvious we're going to go with, the same back four that we've played recently. But I mean, do you think we'll see some rotation? I mean, from my point of view, I think we've got to persist with Galbraith in the middle now, and I thought Stamina will come back in, having not played the other day. I wonder if Yalkoué should come in because, again, I feel like he doesn't get the minutes that he really deserves, and his energy could be great for us. And I mean, and you'll be absolutely gobsmacked to know that I think Ronaldo should come out. I mean, especially because he has started the two games, and Nunes hasn't started either. So I'm thinking that needs to happen. I mean, I guess Eon will then keep his place on the other side, although he hasn't,
Yeah.
been brilliant himself. But you know, um, it is what it is. And
Which
then
one's worse? Which one's worse of the two? I'm not sure.
Ronaldo's worse. And yeah, obviously Vapotnik will play up front. So, I mean, what would you do? Who would come in?
Yeah, I'd play our best players of this one. Absolutely. I think the back four speaks for itself. I think in the middle, I'd play Stamenic, I'd play Franco, I'd play Galbraith. I Vibotnik up front, and then yeah, maybe Nunes and somebody else. Be that. I don't know. It may be Ronaldo's time. I think it's going to be a bit of a battle on Friday. I think at times, and for all his faults from a quality perspective, he's a grafter, and I think that could be useful. They're also not the quickest team either, so you know. I wouldn't surprise me if it's Nunes and Ronaldo on the flanks. Not necessarily saying that's what I would do. I think that there is some talk of do we play with some of the midfielders on the wings. I can see the case for it given how misfiring our wingers are. But I think we would lose a lot as well. We'd be quite narrow, lose a bit of pace as well. I'm not quite there at the moment. I think he might go full Brazil on Friday. Um, and I think that'll be interesting. But yeah, I think the midfield. I think we've got to go with Galbraith, Franco, and Stamenic for me. And I hope we don't go too negative, like by playing Fulton and Stamenic, and then just basically just there try and dig one out. I hope we go there, concentrate on our own game, have a proper go at them, because there's quality in that team, and all it takes is to score in two or three worldies and we'll win. So you know let's have a proper go at it, because at the end of the day, if we want to challenge the playoffs, these are the games we've got to win, and we've actually got to kind of just put our best players in the park and hope it's good enough. That's what I
Yeah,
would do.
definitely. I mean, it is if we are going to get top six, which I'm with you. I think it's a long shot, isn't it, to say the least. But
Yeah,
I mean, the best way to get in there is to try and win this game, to close right up again, put pressure on Wrexham, and see how it goes. But it is going to be a challenge. I mean, they they've been better going forward than we have, to say the least, haven't they?
yeah.
I think they scored five against Ipswich the other week, didn't they? For example, so there's clearly goals in their team, in probably a way that there isn't in ours. So we will need to keep things tight as well. But I mean, it is quite a tough one to call. I think now. I think with us having that win last night, I'm just hoping that we're not going to have the two games on the road in a matter of days takes its toll really. So that's my biggest concern. But I mean, would you take a draw if I offered it now?
I yeah, it depends how we look at it, doesn't it? From a local pride perspective, and I know it's not a derby, but there's a bit of local pride at stake in there. You just don't want to lose these sorts of games. But from a season's perspective, a draw really doesn't help us. So no, we need to go for the win. We need to go for the win. So yeah, but let's hope we get it.
Yeah, no, it is a fair comment. I think in the grand scheme of things, a draw's decent. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
if we want playoffs, it isn't
yeah,
realistically, is it? So
no.
it might have been next season when playoffs go down to eighth, but
Oh yeah,
but
God,
but
yeah.
right now, not great, is it? It's we're gonna, I don't know, what was 9 games left. We what do we need, 6 or 7 wins or something like that, and it
Yeah.
it, it would need to come in these type of games. I think where if to get essentially to get in there. When you look at the gap, Hull is 6 in front of Wrexham. It feels like there is only one place we could finish, doesn't it? If we get in the playoffs, we're only chasing that one team. So if that one team get further away from us, if we were to lose, we'd be done, wouldn't we? You'd have thought.
Oh, absolutely. We apart from Charlton at home, which fingers crossed we can rag in Nathan Jones. It's not looking
I'm,
likely,
I'm
but
not hopeful
fingers
as I
crossed.
was on that, but yeah, I'm with you. I'd love that.
Yeah, but the other 8 games, I mean, the two I didn't mention are QPR and Norwich, both away, and those will be tough ones as well. Norwich are maybe the form side in the division at the moment, so it's a tough old run. And as you say, we probably need 6 or 7 wins. It's going to be difficult, but yeah, no, but as you say, look, we got to win. This perversely may be one of our easier ones, so or the ones we've got to target more. So but they certainly not unbeatable, are they? They lost. I mean, they chucked a lot at Chelsea, but didn't really come close to winning it ultimately. Hull went there and won, and I think from what I saw the stats, Wrexham only had 2 shots on target on Tuesday. So you do wonder how much they got left. Maybe they've chucked a lot at it. Um, we're about to find out, aren't we? So, no, yeah, I think we've got to have some confidence based on our recent form, our performance against them down here earlier in the season. But yeah, I think we're up against it, aren't we? But no, fingers crossed we can get the win.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Because let's be honest, even if we're not going to get top six, we'd quite like to finish above Wrexham. That
Yes.
would be nice. I won't deny that. So, but yeah, that's it for this week. Big thanks to Andy as ever for joining me. We will try and come back next week. Obviously, we'll discuss what happened in North Wales, and we'll look ahead to the visit of Coventry and the return of a few former Swans, including Matt Grimes for the first time. So that will be interesting. But yeah, as ever, big thanks for joining us, and bye for now.